Now at Olympic Park, once again, here's Arthur Cooper.
Radio Nick, yes, you can see the scene of the home straight where the greyhounds will be thundering down in around about 15 minutes or so. Let's check the latest market and we find the betting downstairs. China Trip opened up the elect downstairs, a little bit shorter than what it's showing on the Victorian Tote. It's still 5-2. We'll go from the top of the board. Mount Smart is showing 11-2, much shorter than that down in the ring. A bit of a tip round for Mount Smart. China Trip 5-2. And the greyhounds are about to come onto the track, led out by Vicky, who looks after all the greyhound racing. She looks after taking the greyhounds to the boxes each and every week. This is the big night for everyone. And here you can see the greyhounds coming onto the track and led out by Mount Smart. 11-2, 5-2. Total elect is number 2, China Trip. Number 3, Buka Blitz, 8-1. 20s for number 4, Barwidgee Bill. 30s for number 5, Nia's Far. Lovely Monarch at 9-2. 8-1 for number 7, which is Niggly. Bomber Gleeson is 3-1, and an easing second pick down in the ring. Greyhounds are just coming into the parade yard now for race number 6, the final of the $150,000 Classic Couriers Australian Cup. Well, the popular pick is China Trip, scored in the Cranbourne Cup, and that was back in January, 5 starts ago. Has since come out and scored twice at Olympic Park, including an elimination heat. Now, one night here at Olympic Park, she recorded 29.78. That was back at the end of December. She saw the lure that night, went straight to the lead, raced away, scored brilliantly. She hasn't had a great deal of luck in her box draws during the series. 8, 6 and 8 last week. Couldn't cross last week. And tonight, if she can see the lure, get a clear run to the first turn, she's going to be very, very hard to run down. Looking at the replays over the last couple of days, China Trip's run is almost identical to Ginger of a couple of years ago from South Australia. He was runner-up in the semi-finals and then came out and won the Australian Cup. Her run was almost identical to Ginger. She's drawn almost her best box tonight in box number 2. You can see there number 3, which is Buka Blitz. Now, this greyhound's going for a $100,000 bonus. It was put up by Norm Short, who stands Buka Sunset, who was a finalist in this race about 5 or 6 years ago. They, as an incentive to get some bitches to him, they said $100,000 bonus to any greyhound who can win the Australian Cup in 1991 or 1992. Buka Blitz, being by Buka Sunset, qualifies. Should he greet the judge tonight, $165,000 coming to the connections. He's good odds downstairs. He's still showing 8-1 on the tote, and he really does love a box number 1. Tonight he's got box 3. If he jumps, gets to the lead, he'll be hard to run down also. The next greyhound in our picture there is the pink, which is Bomber Gleeson. Second pick in the market, and this greyhound has taken all before him. Scored in the Shepparton Cup back at the end of October, then came out and ran the fastest time ever recorded in a Silver Chief, the Derby of Victorian Greyhound Racing, just prior to Christmas. Since then, he's come out here at Olympic Park during the Australian Cup Series, finished 3rd behind Mo Yarra missing the heats, but then was a great winner last week. Time was moderate of 30.04, had a bit of luck on his side. He is awkwardly drawn in box number 8, but Graham Bate, who incidentally has never won an Australian Cup, he's won 2 Melbourne Cups and all the other feature races on the Victorian calendar, and yet the Australian Cup has eluded him. Gets his best chance with number 8, Bomber Gleeson. Number 1 in your picture there was Mount Smart. Mount Smart, who hails from New South Wales, the only interstate greyhound to make it through this year, and it's drawn box number 1. It was also a very good run behind Bomber Gleeson last week, and of course the other greyhound which possibly could still be classed as an interstate greyhound is Nia's Far. And Nia's Far had his early racing up in Queensland, has been down to Victoria for a few months. I think we now claim him as our own. But yes, he originally hails from Queensland, Nia's Far. Let's go back to Mount Smart. He was a very good run last week. He copped 3 or 4 checks during the run and then still battled on, only beaten a length and a half by Bomber Gleeson, was certainly making up good ground at the end of the race. And Mount Smart, he'll be very hard to beat from box number 1. With the amount of pace in this race this year, if he misses the start, Cam's behind them, he might be the greyhound that gets the clear run. He's only 5-1 now on the tote and a little bit shorter downstairs. Let's go back to Neosfar. He's a bit of a surprise packet to make it through. He's the bolter in the field. He scored in 30.05 last week. Prior to that, he's never far away from the money. But as Mick Gibalisco, who trains the greyhound, said in an earlier interview this evening, he needs a lot of luck in his races. Box 5, he'll be slowly away. He's traditionally slowly out of boxes. He loves to get to the fence, and he might be able to get a clear run after they go to the back. Okay, that's most of the field for the Australian Cup. We'll have a look at the other 3 or 4 greyhounds a little later. Let's now go for an update with Nick Robin for the next at Wentworth Park.
Righto, Arthur. Now it's at Olympic Park. Plenty of glamour as we take you to Arthur Cooper.
Okay, Nick, yes, Vicky with Chief Executive here, Peter Craig, and the lady holding the cup, which these 8 greyhounds will be trying for, $65,000, sponsored by Classic Couriers. 3 greyhounds to have another quick look at, but we'll have a look at the update first of all. Number 1 is Mount Smart, the New South Wales greyhound, into 5-1. 7-4 for number 2, China Trip. She's the outright favourite. 9-1 for number 3, Buca Blitz. So she's been supported, China Trip, 5-2 into 7-4, and Mount Smart also in 2 points. Buca Blitz out to 9-1. Barwidgey Bill now at 25-1. Neosfar is at 33s. 5-1 for number 6, which is Lively Monarch, a half point in. And Peter Pearson's got a big tip for it as well tonight. Nigley is at 9-1 and 13-4 for number 8, Bomber Gleasing, easing out from 11-4. Quick look at the other 3 greyhounds. Number 6 is Lively Monarch, a finalist in the Melbourne Cup and also the Adelaide Cup recently. Overdue for a big race victory, and gets his chance tonight. Number 7 is Nigley, hails from Warrnambool. Warrnambool's taking all before them. The Greyhound of the Year, Modern Express, Personality of the Year, Stan Lake. Maybe they might make the big trifecta with Nigley. And the other greyhound, Barwidgey Bill. He's a good, honest greyhound. I'll certainly be cheering for Barwidgey Bill. I was fortunate enough to breed this greyhound, and I'll certainly be cheering for Barwidgey Bill, but I think he might be slightly outclassed in this field. Greyhounds on their way to be presented to the big crowd that's gathered here at Olympic Park this evening, and we'll be back at 9:17 for a description of the race. Now let's go for the next event at Wentworth Park. Here's Peter Johnson.
Thank you very much, Arthur, and good luck with the call for the big one. Our runners
Looking seen down there at Olympic Park as we update this market a little further, and the greyhounds are making their way towards the boxes for the major race.
Certainly a cheer for most of the greyhounds too from the big crowd that's assembled here at Olympic Park. Let's check the market, and we find that number 1, Mount Smart, 5-1 in from 7-1. China Trip is now at 7-4. The favourite well supported on the tote, 5-2 into 7-4. Buca Blitz, 9-1. 20s for number 4, Barwidgey Bill. Neosfar, 30-1. So back into 30-1. Lively Monarch is now at 6-1. 9s for number 7, which is Nigley, and 7-2, easing favourite, as easy second favourite, Bomber Gleason, 11-4 out to 7-2. But the best back runners on the tote, Mount Smart, 7s into 5s, and China Trip, 5-2 into 7-4. All other greyhounds have eased from their opening quote. On their way to the boxes now for the final of the $150,000 Classic Couriers Australian Cup. We'll be back shortly with a description of race number 6.
Thanks, Art. Righto. Greyhound Cup, $150,000 up for grabs here. Good luck to all the greyhounds as we take you to Arthur Cooper.
Chances, Nick, here. Number 1, Mount Smart at 11-2, 7-4, China Trip, 9-1 for Buca Blitz. Go down to number 6, Lively Monarch, 5-1. 9s for number 7, Nigley, 7-2 for Bomber Gleason. And they're almost set to go. Favourite at 7-4, China Trip off the check. They're ready. Green lights on, set for the $150,000 Classic Couriers Australian Cup final. All boxed, ready. Racing, China Trip began well. Mount Smart slowly away. Bomber Gleason began brilliantly, but China Trip kicks up on the inside, leads Bomber Gleason into the first turn. Up running third was Buca Blitz, followed by Nigley, Barwidgey Bill. 2 lengths away, Lively Monarch, Mount Smart, and last of all is Neosfar. Down the back, and the wonder catches China Trip, the favourite by 2 or 3. Running to second was Buca Blitz, followed by Bomber Gleason, Barwidgey Bill, and then came Lively Monarch. Around the turn, the leader still is China Trip. Buca Blitz is trying hard on the inside. China Trip in front. Buca Blitz lunges, but he didn't make it. China Trip beats Buca Blitz. Photo for third between Bomber Gleason and also on the outside Lively Monarch, and then came Barwidgey Bill, Mount Smart, Neosfar, and Nigley towards the rear of the field. Photo. Judge calls for a photo. 29.96 is the time recorded. The winner, I fancy number 2, China Trip, leading from go to woe to just blouse out. Buca Blitz right on the post. 270 for China Trip, 130 the place. Number 3, Buca Blitz, was showing $9.80 and $2.10. China Trip in front. Buca Blitz lunges right on the post, but I think you'll find that number 2 on the outside has been able to hold on and score by about a half head, maybe a head tops on the line. Number 2, China Trip, boxed brilliantly tonight. Bomber Gleeson began well, couldn't cross China Trip. She was going to be very hard to run down once she found that front running position. Buca Blitz, I think if he's gone down, he's been desperately unlucky. About 150 metres from home, he was almost brought down. Now, if you have a look at, we'll have a look at this replay. There go the numbers, 2, 3 and 8. 2, 3 and 8 after the running of the Cup. And, OK, we'll be able to cross to Paul Hammond for an interview very shortly with the winning connections. And here's the replay now, and you can see Buca Blitz. Now, watch Buca Blitz. China Trip gets to the lead. Buca Blitz is trying hard in second placing. Bomber Gleeson's on the outside. Now, continually watch the white here. He gets cramped up there by Bomber Gleeson, loses a couple of lengths. This allows China Trip to race away, but he has fought on tenaciously, Buca Blitz, to go down narrowly right on the post. And number 2, China Trip, a worthy winner of the Australian Cup for 1992. Paul Hammond's got the winning connections there. What he's got to say.
Treated a lot this week, and just need a lot of luck. Got a bloke to slide from Queensland, been to Shepparton with it to get the check, and it's all come true with one.
Okay, now the emotion must be flooding through you, and congratulations once again, and well done.
Thank you. I'll catch us up. Thank you.
Okay, yes, Paul Hammond with the winning owner-trainer there in Gary Ball. Gary Ball trains the Greyhound, and we'll be back a little later on with the presentations and also a full summation of the race.
Very exciting. Thank you, Art. Almost set at Launceston. He's Shane. Been a sensational win for number 2 China Trip, and that rug and connections. The rug looks beautiful and the connections look very happy.
Very excellent double.
At the dais now for the presentation, the chairman here at the MGRA, Mr. Fred Abel, about to get proceedings underway. China Trip. And let's check the dividends after the running of the Australian Cup here in Victoria. China Trip, $2.80 and $1.30. $2.20 for Buca Blitz. Bomber Gleeson to even. The Quinella, $13.10. Trifecta, $91.80, and the Quadrella, $190.10. A worthy winner, China Trip, the only bitch to make it through this year by Brother Fox, a New South Wales-based sire from La Paz, raced and trained by Gary Ball at Flemington, along with E. Bulch and H. Gorman. A fawn bitch whelped in October, 89. And you can see China Trip in front, Buca Blitz trying his heart out. Good effort for second. Very unlucky to have been beaten on the line. He's been beaten ahead officially, and Bomber Gleeson just hanging on for third ahead of a Lively Monarch. But right on the post, it was China Trip. And that greyhound trained by Gary Ball, who incidentally works for the John Sadler stable, the horse racing stable. So now there are plenty of celebrations down there at Flemington tomorrow morning. Let's go down and see if we can get some of this presentation after the running of the Classic Couriers Australian Cup for 1991.
Thanks, Fred. Chairman Fred Abel and members of the MGRA. The Classic Couriers are sponsor of the race. The many distinguished guests present tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I think it's a dream of every greyhound breeder, owner or trainer in Australia to win an Australian Cup, and has been since it was first established back in 1958. Like a lot of other people up in years, I was there that night when Rooker Rebel won that race at North Melbourne. And here we are on the track some 35 years later to see this great race grow in prestige and prize money. In fact, I'm told that the prize money for the whole series back in the first event was $2,700, whereas this year, of course, in 1992, it's $150,000 and $65,000 to the winner. And therefore, I congratulate the MGRA committees and staff over the years have kept the race so to the forefront, and particularly the President Committee for the way it's been presented here tonight. And I don't want to forget, of course, the tremendous debt we have to Classic Couriers for the great support they give to greyhound racing, not only for this event but so many other events throughout the greyhound year. But to all of the finalists, I congratulate them, but of course there can be only one winner, won by a great greyhound. I think he was the lightest greyhound in the field, won the Cranbourne Cup some 3 or 4 weeks ago, and come out tonight, of course, and won this great race. So to the connections of the China Trip, I congratulate them and ask the representative of the owners, Mr. Ball, Bolsh and Gorman. I think Gary Ball is going to come forward and receive the cup, and of course, just as much so, a cheque for $65,000. Well done.
Be careful, please.
Thank you. There you go, Gary. Just put it down here. Oh, no. Well, there's a few people I've got to thank. First of all, the dog. Mick Marlowe, that checked the dog during the week. I went to old Keith Warburton in Shepparton during the week, and a friend of mine, I flew him down from Brisbane as an acupuncturist. He did a great job with it, Tony Graham. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'd like to congratulate the other two owners who are with me, and thanks to the sponsors too, and thanks for coming. Thank you.
Okay, right, you can see the greyhound being sashed there, and the winning connection there, Gary Ball, part owner and trainer. And Andrea presenting the flowers over China Trip, a worthy winner of the 1992 Classic Couriers Australian Cup. And the Minister for Sport here in Victoria, Neil Trezise, leading the official party with the presentations. And of course, Classic Couriers are great sponsors here in Victoria, and are very, very happy connections there after the running of the Cup. The other greyhounds in the race, Bomber Gleeson couldn't cross tonight, and he's weakened into third placing. Lively Monarch ran his good honest race. Buca Blitz finished second, very unlucky second too, beaten ahead on the line. 2 3/4 lengths between second and third. And of the others, really, they were always towards the rear. Mount Smart, I thought, was very, very disappointing. He missed the start, couldn't really take advantage of the